Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you are. My name is Leticia and welcome to the channel. We're here for another makeup shorties from our series that is super cool, I hope you guys enjoying it. The subject today is eye makeup. Oh yeah, look how nice this base foundation is. We already have skin prep, primer, foundation, concealer, bronzer, contour, blush, and highlighter. Do you have to use all that? No, you don't even have to use makeup. The skin prep though, not optional. You have to do it. Sunscreen, don't forget it. But honestly, seriously, you don't have to do it all. You can pick and choose whatever part of the makeup you like or you're most comfortable with. At any time, just switch your routine. That makes it fun. We're here to tackle a little more deeply each of those areas so people can feel more comfortable with them and not be afraid of them, and also be prepared when the occasion arrives that they feel like, they need to be a little more snatched, they want to, but still look natural. Makeup for filming and pictures, recording, etc. It's very different from makeup that looks natural and nice in person. So that's what we're trying for here today. We're trying for the basics because we're talking about beginners, right? People that are getting to dip their toes into this. So if you like that, keep watching. So now that we have our base makeup, we are talking about eyeshadow. Let me scoop closer. So eyeshadow can be very difficult for beginners. If you're a beginner, you might know. And very scary too, because there are so many different eye shapes and eye techniques and different, textures. Most makeup actually has all the variations, but eyes are so tiny and it's so difficult to work in them. Yes, I agree with you and I'm here with you. Also, because usually we have more than one eye shape. It's like face shape, really. We don't only have downturned eyes like I do. We also have hooded eyes. We also have small eyes. We also have like many other things that we have to take in consideration. So the formula that is best for my eyes might be very different for another person that also has, hooded eyes. And it might be even more different for someone that has like round doe eye. Everyone will come up with a base nice formula that they fancy, that they like and feel comfortable with differently. It's gonna be different. But we're here to do a generalistic approach. And so how could that be? You asked me. You just told me that everyone is different. Well, I'm gonna kind of try to walk you through how to start. Yeah, so you're trying to look natural. No one has natural eyeshadows. But what you do have is natural shadows and highlights and blushing in your eyelids too. So you might have noticed from the other videos, if you watch them, that I've applied bronzer, highlighter, and blush on my eyelids. So take a look. This area of your face, like the eyes, this mobile part and the fixed part of your eyes, they will have different sizes and shapes depending on different people, but all of them will have natural colors that also appear in the rest of your face. In my case, I do get a little bronzed here. I do get a little red here if I stay too long in the sun. In this area right underneath my eyebrows, it's always a little bit lighter. And I do have a little bit of pigmentation, over pigmentation in my eyelids. A lot of people do, that's very common. So that will read for other people as natural. We can try for that approach now, and then I can elaborate a little more on it if you want to look like you have eyeshadow, if you don't mind, but you still want to look, natural, like you didn't try too hard. So we're going to do both of them. First, the disclaimer that you don't have to wear any of the other makeup. You can just do your eye makeup and be happy and feel confident. It doesn't matter. Just because I did my whole face doesn't mean that you have to do it so in order to wear eyeshadow. And a lot of people are happy with one all over eyeshadow and it looks great. For that type of look, I recommend, if you want to be a little more playful, you can go with a topper that is glittery, glitter itself, or a shade that is matte but is kind of the color of your skin or a little bit darker. All of those looks all over your eyelids will look great. In natural, maybe a little bit playful, but like you didn't try too hard, you know what I'm saying? But one very important thing, mostly for beginners, is going in with eyeshadows that have low pigmentation. Like if you buy Natasha Denona, for example, nothing against, that's like great, but the pigmentation there, it's exquisite, very, very, very high, which means that if you start applying your eyeshadow and you don't know exactly what you're doing, you're gonna end up with stamps because it's gonna be so much pigmented and you don't know how to blend well that it's going to show all the lines, all the places where you put your brush, and it's gonna be messy business. So start with things that are less pigmented, a little more like drugstore or KJ beauty, like Korean and Japanese makeup. It's great away for that because it's usually very skin native tones in very forgivable pigmentation and formulas. So right now I have a little bit of blush and bronzer on the outer corner on this V. This is a little lighter because of the foundation and the concealer, this area. In here I have a little bit of highlighter. This is pretty natural. Like it doesn't look like I have an eye, but I kind of have an eye going on here, which is pretty fancy, very cool. Suppose I just want to start. I can stop at any point on this makeup. You can stop at any point in this makeup. You don't have to use all the techniques and all the shades. What would be the first step to enhance your eyes? I would say you can go with a light or a little medium shade depending on your skin tone. This, for me, that's the reference, on your mobile lid. Also to help set it up and not have a lot of cream products accumulating here. Because I'm going slow, first I'm going with the light shade. Tapping slowly. Remember, don't get afraid. It's not something that will punish you if you do something wrong. It's an easy, workable formula. And if you want, you can also set here, this part of your eyes. My tip in that case is to look down like a lot so you can access this part and not go too low. Because if you go too low, it's gonna read as dark circles, right? So be careful to not use something too dark, too cool, or go too low. I'm using the light shade still. See, you can tell there is any product, you can't really tell, but it already gave like kind of like a bright uniform tone. And now I'm going to make sure it's not gonna, accumulate in my lids like he usually does, because I have extremely hooded eyes. Like, I mean, not extremely, but hooded eyes. You can barely see my mobile lids when I open my eyes. So next step, if you wanna keep going, let's go with the middle shade here. This kind of, latte shade. Remove excess. So you can go many ways now. You can emphasize your outer corner, which will make your eyes look more like almond shape. So it's gonna pull this a little up here. Or you can just spread it close to the lash line in this motion here and just almost give it like an easy smoky kind of eye. I'm going to emphasize my corner. So I start here with my V line. What is the corner that I wanna mark? And I work it in, not out, because if I work it out, I have downturned eyes. It will make them droopy. You can do that too if you wanna go for it. And now I'm just blending or swiping too. That's also a good technique. Try to get the same angle for the other eye. And you can see that a lot of times it kind of follows my own eye shape here, see? This will create a crease that is higher on my eyes. It will make it look more flattering on me, the shape, but I'm not using something too dark because if I do that, it won't look realistic. Your eyes might not need that though. So for that, you don't need to create this new crease here. You can just apply the darker shade close to your eyelashes and almost do like a, easy smoke kind of thing. I can stop here or I can keep going. Let's keep going. I'm going in with the same medium shade and I'm going to use that from the outer corner to the middle of my eyes. And I'm going to connect with the end here. Remember, less is more, less product is more. Don't be lazy. It's better to apply many times over and over until you get the saturation of color that you want than to apply too much and then you can't take it off. And also blend a lot. That will make sure that your makeup looks natural and will look good and natural, like you haven't tried too hard, super hard to look good. Oh, I need tea. But it's looking great. Okay, now look at me. Do I look like I was trying too hard? Do I look like these eyes were like taking 5 hours? No. A thing that I didn't mention in the other videos, maybe I should, but that's okay. Really natural, high quality makeup application usually takes a long time. It takes a lot of time that you put looking at yourself in a mirror, in good lighting, and thinking about what am I missing? What do I want to enhance? What do I want to conceal? Where do I need more color? Where do I need texture? Etc, etc. So taking time looking at yourself in the mirror and pondering about those things, that takes time. A lot of times, like, my best makeup looks come from me just like sitting on my vanity, watching a YouTube video on my phone. I look at my face, I look at it and I was like, I want to use this product now. I use it, I take some time, drink my coffee, drink water, look at the video, come back again. Yeah, it takes me like 1 hour to do the makeup, but those are my best looks. I'm not saying that telling you, oh, you have to take 2 hours to do your makeup every day. No, you will gain so much practice if you keep doing it that you will do it like 5 minutes of perfect face of makeup, like a routine. But in the beginning, to try to understand and And mostly when you're experimenting with new things, do it in a place where you don't have to rush, where you have time and you can be relaxed doing it. It's going to give you much better results. Trust me. Anyways, back to the makeup. Like, I'm just like very far away right now. Okay, so this looks very, skin native, natural. No one's gonna be pointing like, oh, nice eyeshadows. Like, they're probably not even going to be able to tell that I have it on, right? So another thing that I like emphasizing, at least on myself, and that I think it looks good and flattering for a lot of people, is making this part, the inner corner of your eyes, a little lighter, and that still can look natural. So you can do that with any type of product. I'm going to use the Kaleidos Face palette that we use to highlight. I'm going to use that too to highlight. Remember, your eye palette might already have that color. For me, I need something a tiny bit lighter. Also, I forgot to tell you, this brush, it's a Ruby Rose medium angle shading brush. You don't have to have this, but I think that this shape that occurs in many makeup lines, it's very good for multi-purpose. Sephora used to have one of those too. It's called Contour, the number 28, but it's any brush that is angled like this and in this average size will be very useful for you to deposit product and also blend. I've already said that in other videos, but it's very important to notice the size of your eyes. Like my eyes, this is not a big brush. This is like at most a medium brush and it looks huge on my eyes. I can't go bigger than this. This one, it's shaped like this, kind of oval. So it's not as big as it looks, but you see, it covers already my whole eyelid, the mobile eyelid. Go for the sizes of brushes that actually fit you. That's actually very important. So basically, I could stop here. But did you notice that I did not talk about different types of formulas for eyeshadow? That is a reason. Well, kind of. So the powder formula is the oldest one and also the most common formulas to find. Is very accessible and very easy to control. If you're a beginner, you want to stay with something like this. But it's not impossible to go for creams and other formulas as a beginner. So for example, I love the Caviar Stick from Laura Mercier. They are very easy to control, but it's kind of hard to find good products in a good price range to try and play with. e.l.f. has now very good ones, it seems. I haven't tried them, but they seem great. And depending on the color that you buy, they can be really nice and all over eyeshadow. Like this. This is strapless. You might think that because it has a little bit of glitter, it doesn't look natural, but it actually would surprise you. It just looks like a little bit slipping this makeup from yesterday, depending how much you apply, or sometimes it just looks like you have a little bit of a darkness in your mobile eyelid, which can look really pretty. We have products like the Wonder Cloud from Rimmel, which is a base for your matte base for your coloring, and it's very easy to manage. We have something like the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil, which can be used a little bit like an eyeliner, though it's kind of thick, but it also can be used as a base. It's really great as a base, but it's really pigmented. So this type of product starts in a harder level, the level up of difficulty. So that's why I am not recommending them, because I think that they can be a little harder to access, to acquire, and to manage. But if you want to go and if you're curious for the finish, go for it, because they can look really nice. And they also come in different finishes: matte, natural, and shiny, and glittery, and whatever, multi-chrome, whatever. Also, if you are interested in an all-over eyeshadow, you can buy single, very nice toppers, like this Misha one that is absurdly gorgeous. And you will look at it and you'll be like, wow, it's so shiny. It's surprisingly natural. Like, depending on the light, you might see it or you might not. It's actually really nice. And as you've seen, I work with a lot of drugstore palettes. I've showed in many videos, but there's also some more expensive formulas like this Pat McGrath that I almost regret buying, honestly, because I don't use it very often. This color story, it's a little weird to me, like it's too pink, but there are some toppers here that are absolutely gorgeous. But this is a less forgiving formula. It's more pigmented. That's why why I don't recommend you go all in as a beginner. And if you're trying and experimenting, much less. Don't go all in, please. Something else that you can do, if you want like toppers, or if you're interested in small, nice color stories, you can go for something drugstore like the Essence palettes, the small ones. They are great. Elf has very good ones too. Or you can buy individual eyeshadows. These here are the potted, I think 3 palettes from Juvia's Place, the potted. I think mauves, pinks, and berries, because I really like those colors. Here we have some really nice toppers and shades from indie brands, because I know I like the multi-chromes, I like the shine, and I don't mind paying like $17, $20 in one eyeshadow, because I know how rich it is. But that, again, I'm not a beginner anymore. So that's why I'm showing you guys this, so you know what's out there and how much things can vary. But do I recommend for a beginner? No. What I recommend for a beginner? This. And maybe one topper to have fun. But again, this already has the topper, the glitter, and the topper. So, you know, you don't need it all. So again, I'm looking pretty, you know, natural. Almost like I have nothing on. If I want to keep going and darkening a little bit the look, of course, it will start giving away that I'm wearing makeup. But if it is inside a boundary, you might be okay with that. You know, as long as it makes you feel confident. So let's go with it. One of the best blending brushes that exists is this MAC. I think it's 217. There are many variations of this in many collections. It's not impossible to find. This is great to apply transitions shades and to blend it. Transitions shade is basically what we just did with the medium shade. So applying here and creating a transition between your eyeshadow and your natural color. I'm not like giving you too many names because I don't want to get too technical, but basically that's what it is. So the smaller you go, the more control the application is gonna have. So if we want to go darker, we need a smaller version of that. MAC has one, Ruby Rose has one, almost any Sephora has one. Almost all makeup brushes brands have them. Don't worry. It's usually called, I think, pencil or detail brush. Those are better because the darker colors can get out of hand very fast. So the smaller the brush, the more control you have over it. Also, the farther from the bristles you hold your brush, the lighter the application is gonna be. Good tip for you. So we're going in now with the darker shade. Tap the excess. Don't forget to tap for the darker shade, it's even worse. And what we're gonna do is we're going to try to enhance the darkness, right? In a natural way. So we do have darkness close to our eyelashes. So that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm going to be really carefully close to our eyelashes, but only on the outer corner. Why? Because that will accentuate the almond eye shapes that I'm creating. If I come in, that will make all the eye recede, and that's not what we're going for. We're going for darker colors on the outer edge, so this part recedes, so this part comes forward and looks closer. So it does like this, it tilts. For the eye, that's the impression. And if you don't want it to look too obvious, you have to be really careful. See, I'm holding the brush really close to the edge, to the back. And I'm trying to color almost the base of my eyelashes, because that's where you want the darkest part, because it's almost like you're trying to thicken the eyelash area. So the eyelash is gonna actually look thicker. So the shadow will blend everything together. It's gonna look more natural. See, still not looking natural. If you want, you can bring a little bit here and connect this area. Just don't go too low and go up, not down, because that's the effect we're trying for in here. You can always go in with the blending brush, the transition brush, to, you know, blend and make it more natural after. Same thing on the other side. So when in doubt, stop, look at the side you just did so you can try to match. Don't go all out in one eye and then you look at like, what have I done? What do you think? I think it still looks pretty natural. Of course, now I'm making the outer corner so deep compared to the rest. Of course, it's starting to look more like I have makeup on, but it's still that very like easygoing, I didn't try too hard look. And if you're worried, just grab a blending brush, clean the product, like don't apply more product, and blend it. Blend everything. It's fine. Just don't bring it out or too low, and just blend it. Now, of course, like I said, there are many types of finishes for eyeshadows, right? Of course, again, dewy, creamy products will look more moisturizing in your eye area, which will be better for people that already have lines or have a lot of folds like I do. But in contrast, will also not be as long lasting. So you might want to apply an eye primer before that. I usually don't apply eye primers. They tend to dry up too much my eyes, and I don't really need the staying powder of 12 hours. If you do, go ahead, apply. Concealer and foundation can also already be kind of a primer. So that's why I do that, just to kind of erase the veins that I have under. It's already good for that. Something else, the blush and bronzer that I applied also will ensure that I applied on my eyelids. It will ensure that this color in my cheeks doesn't look totally disconnected from my eyes, so it will create more of a natural reading, like in my whole face. But let's say you want to darken and do eyes a little bit more sultry. You can go for eye pencils. So I have this from Makeup by Mario in the color The Perfect Brown. It's great. I also bought those two from, Korean brands. This is from Clio, Sharp So Simple in Choco Brown. And this is from Cezanne eyeliner. Is actually a dark gray. I will apply the Perfect Brown today because it's more natural. But the gray can actually look very natural because it's a shadowy color. Just don't apply gray if you're very warm skin, because then it might clash a little bit. What's the point of eyeliner, right? It's to make the eyelashes look thicker. So you have to apply it where you actually want them to look thicker. In this case, because we're going for like a almond eye, we're gonna apply only in the outer edge. Very, very, very close to the eyelashes. And very delicate. Don't go for a thick line right from the start because you're gonna regret it. Less is more. I would not recommend you to apply eyeliner to look natural. It could be pencil or liquid on the first half of your eyes. If you want it to look natural, stay on the outer third of your eye. And if you want to look more natural, you go right after and you blend it with a very small detail brush. Don't blend it down, don't blend it out or down, be careful. You can blend it up, however. I don't know if you noticed, I don't pull my eyes and my skin to do the makeup, because if you do that, it's like applying blush when you're like this. Once you do that, you think, oh, I'm going up. When you release it, you're actually going down. So try not to change the shape and the placement of your skin so you apply your makeup, because when you release it, it's more likely not gonna be where you expected it to be. If you want darker eyeshadows, even darker eyeshadows, you can tight line. So what is tight lining? It's coloring your skin right here literally on the roots of your eyelashes under. But if you're doing that, you have to be careful that you actually applied the dark color also from the top to the bottom of your eyelash. Otherwise you will create like black skin color or shadow color and then another black. It doesn't have to be black, brown, but I mean darker colors, and it won't actually do that. It will just create a weird effect. You have to join the bottom of your eyes, the roots of your eyelashes, and eyeliner that you applied on top. I'm being very delicate with the amount of product that I apply, so it can actually look natural. But you can go all out if that's what you want. You can even go for the lashes in the bottom. I just think that it tends to give away more that you're wearing makeup, but it's also a great look. Go for it if that's what you want. To make it look natural, it doesn't have to just be brown or grays or like that kind of colors, but the closer it is to your eyelashes colors, eyebrow colors, hair color, the more natural it's gonna look. But you can have a little bit of fun, like using a burgundy eye pencil. That will actually look a little bit natural, depends on like how light the burgundy or red is, but it can make a little pop, a little fun in your look too, if you want that. As with eyeshadows, I haven't mentioned other types of formulas, and that's because they are not very friendly to beginners, usually. I think the ones that have more control are eyeshadows and pencils if you smudge them, but you can also go for pens and gels. Like in this case, I have only glitter because, it's me. And even the pot ones. I don't have any, but in that case, you probably would use something like this, a very precise detail brush, which you can also use with the pencil, if you want. So it will basically allow you to have a lot of control. You can just pick up the product and go in very slowly. Honestly, incredibly easier than just trying to go in with a pencil or even trying to draw with a pen like this. And even if you want to go with the pen, like you want the black eyeliner, maybe it's the only thing you want in your look that looks very natural, but you want the eyeliner, drawing first with a pencil with eyeshadow with like detail brushes and then going in will help you to have a better chance of drawing it symmetrically and actually where you want, because you can erase the pencil and the eyeshadow easier than you can, the snatched line of an eyeliner pen. So the pencil liner will make you less likely to make mistakes and it's easier to control. You can go for the other ones. I'm just stating here that if you want a natural look and if you're a beginner, go for the pencil. It will be better. And also another tip, I don't know if you noticed, just giving it here, short strokes to draw and also build slowly. Again, less is more. Okay, so we are in the next step for the eyes. It's the mascara. I always start with curling, but not everyone needs curling, eyelash curler. That is true. Most people will though, and if you want to look natural, this doesn't really make it look unnatural. So there you go. It just makes it look better. So why not use it? Maybe you were afraid, but honestly, you are totally in control of the curler, so you don't really have to be that afraid, right? You can just try it. You don't have to press it. Try, see how you feel. Press very slowly. If you are afraid, you can take it out. You are in control. So build slowly your tolerance, but it is a step that makes all the difference. So what I do is I go very close as I can to the roots, and I try to get the full line from the corner to the inner corner. Then I press a couple of times, then I move up a little bit, I press a couple of times, I move up a little bit, and I press again a couple of times. This ensures that I don't just break my eyelashes in half, but I actually kind of try to make a curl out of it. And I don't let it set. I go in with my mascara right after it. So if you want a natural look, what mascara do you choose? Now that you've seen the curl and you can tell the difference, right? I don't apply too much product because if I do that, it's going to be very clear that I have mascara on and that I have like a lot of makeup on. People will start noticing. And I try not to go for volume. I go for a little bit of length and curl, something that is more, natural. The e.l.f. Lash and Roll. Ooh. It's perfect for that. Like, I'm loving it. It's great. You can go for primers. Like, I can't even. Like, I couldn't figure out how they work. It doesn't work for me. If it works for you, that's great. Keep doing it. And you can go for colorful too, but that's not very natural now. So it depends on the look you want to, go for. If you want like extremely natural, you can go for something like this Immortals, which has a brush that is extremely thin. That will make it basically just coat in black your eyelashes and make it very, very almost undetectable, like very natural. In my case, I don't mind a little bit more. And one of the things I do is first I go up and then I go from the bottom. So why do I do that? Because when you apply powder in your eyes and other types of makeup, the powder falls on your lashes and the top of your lashes will be colored, usually in skin colors or browns and beiges. And that's not the color of your eyelashes now, is it? So if you do that, this first cover from the top, you're gonna just color it black and you ensure that if people are looking at you from the top, they won't see anything on that. It's just black and normal eyelashes. So I'm gonna do it again in the other eye so you can see. One coat to cover it from the top and then wiggle from the bottom, because most of the product you want is in the roots, right? You want a thin layer all over it, but most product in the roots, because if you have a lot of product in the tips of your eyelashes, it's gonna look thick and it's gonna give it away. Also, a technique that I really love is to use a little bit more on the outer edges, which will actually make it look, higher, because everything we're doing is darker on this corner will make it look like almond eyes. Something else that you can do is just focus on the last third of your eye, so the middle last third here, and just apply more layers on this iris, because this will make the whole area a little darker, which will also accentuate, the almond eye shape. Or you can just go in the corner like this. If it got a little clumpy, like this one, a little more than I would like, I don't wait for it to dry. I just go in and brush a little bit and separate it here, more natural. And if you got it into your eyes, for hooded eyes is very usual, you just wait for it to dry and then you go in with a clean spoolie and you brush it away will come up perfectly. If you remove too much of the eyeshadow, just go in again with your transition brush and just blend it a little bit. It will most likely be enough. If you feel like you covered your bottom lashes, you can go with something like this, very natural. That would be basically undetectable. So how am I looking? I think my eyes look great, and I don't think they look like too much. I just look a little bit, you know, beauty enhanced. Of course, I got a little carried away in blush and contour to be able to show to you guys clearly the areas where I was applying. So I applied more pigment than it would be good for, you know, natural makeup. But again, a lot of makeup wears off in a way that the pigment, you know, vanishes during the day. So if you want to go out at night, you might want to apply a little bit more makeup in the beginning of the day, so you will still have some. Or you can, you know, just carry a few and reapply during the day. That's also valid. If you have hooded eyes or very oily eyelids, it's good to think about waterproof things and primers for the eye, even if you want a very natural eye look. The eyelashes in the eyeliner will be heavily impacted by these oils, and you know, sometimes they will touch your eyelids or just like start, you know, sliding around and you get raccoon eyes, not a good look. So if that's a problem for you, waterproof mascara and eyeliners might be a good thing to try. They are harder to remove, so you have to do a double cleanse and, you know, use specific removers for that, but it might be worth, depending on, you know, why you want it and what do you want out of your day and how do you want your makeup to wear. And that's my finished eye. I look great. I think I look great. What about you? Do you think so? Do you think it looks natural? I think so. I think I'm doing a very, very good job. I'm looking bronze, but you know, it's summer. Should look bronze again. Anyways, thank you for subscribing, for commenting, for liking, watching, all the jazz. And most importantly, I hope you have an awesome day. See you in the next one.